Hey, you murderphoniacs. This is your host, Tony Ciaglia, the serial killer whisperer. Welcome to this special edition series of Murder Phone, where we will be covering the I-70 killings. It's been over 32 years since these killings happened, and they are still unsolved. This fucking coward, this piece of shit killer would shoot defenseless victims in the back of the head for no reason at all. He has never been identified, but over the next few weeks, we hope to change all that right here on Murder Phone. But first, let me introduce my co-hosts. Dad.
Oh, holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Next Tuesday, we will have been dealing with my brain injury for 32 years. Boy, it would be great if I could say, I'm so happy to have healed completely from that horrific afternoon on July 23rd, 1992. Unfortunately, brain injuries never heal completely. From what happened to me at Camp Grady Spruce that afternoon, in between 4 and 4:30 p.m., Lake Possum Kingdom turned red with my blood. I lost my childhood and my innocence when that jet ski slammed into the back of my head, going 45 miles an hour. When I wake up, screaming in the middle of the night, terrified, yelling your name out. You're always there for me to calm me and help me get back to sleep. When I don't want to live anymore because I can't handle this cruel world, you're always there to talk to me and help me make sense of things. When depression emotionally cripples me, no matter how many days or weeks it goes on and on, you never leave my side. Thank you, Dad. I love you more than anything in this world. The only way I could pay you back is to continue to love you with all my heart and soul till the end of time.
Thank you. I didn't know that was coming. Everything he said is the truth, and accept the thank you. As I said, you don't ever have to thank me or your mom or your brother. You know, we told you when you were in your coma, if you'd wake up, we'd be there for you. And we hope that we've kept our promise. I think we have, pretty much. And this is all a blessing. This is truly a blessing to be able to spend the last 32 years every day with my son. Who gets to do that? Right? And a lot of time with Joe and a lot of time with your mom. I mean, I'm talking about the whole family. So we've been blessed that Tony survived. And I do mean that. You don't have to thank us, because you know what? It's been heartwarming for us. And the alternative is not something I can even think about. So thank you for telling Jesus that you wanted to come back, that you couldn't stand to see a doctor come in and say, we did everything we could. So thank you for that. And we all love you. And everything that's come out of it is a blessing. I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, buddy. Whew.
Take a drink.
I will.
Take a drink. It's fucking hot out there. It's 109 degrees today. We were on the way here and I saw some fucking morons in a Jeep, an open Jeep. There were like 6 of them.
I saw that.
And then you saw that?
Yes,
I did. Yeah. And then
I
look at the temperature in the car. It's 109 degrees.
Yeah, it's tough here, but get through it, right?
Yeah.
It's better than snow, believe me.
Yeah. It's a couple hard months.
Yeah. So this first episode is, we're going to do a recap. You know, these are special episodes, be 3 or 4 of them. And Tony and I thought, because we haven't covered the I-70 killings, that we would investigate. And today what we will do is let you, the listeners, know what went on and what the investigation has been like over these last 32 years. It's not usually our style, but we have to go like to Wikipedia and some other internet sites just to get some of this information. And we're going to relay that to you today. First, we will cover the series of murders based on the information that we got off of the internet. And then we will follow the information that was presented through the years as authorities tried to put the pieces together and identify this asshole that's going up and down Interstate 70 and shooting victims in the head for apparently the fun of it. No motive, it's really bizarre.
What a pussy.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get any more pussy than this.
No, it sucks.
Well, I get more pussy than
Stop.
This one.
Here we go.
Sorry.
All right. The killing spree began on April 8th, 1992, with the murder of 26-year-old Payless Shoe Source manager Robin Faldauer in Indianapolis. She was alone in the store when she was shot, having been murdered sometime around 1:30 p.m. Her body was discovered in a storage room in the back of the store around 3 o'clock. Less than $100 had been stolen from the cash register.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This poor lady.
26.
She lost her fucking life for less than $100.
Yeah.
Her family.
It's terrible.
Lost a loved one for less than $100.
The next 2 murders occurred on April 11th, 1992, at the La Bride d'Elegance bridal shop in Wichita, Kansas. The victims were Patricia Smith, 23, and the store's owner, 32-year-old Patricia Maggers.
In that, both were named Patricia.
Yeah, I know.
And they both got killed.
Yeah. As this was the only case involving multiple victims, investigators believe that the killer was under the impression that there was only one woman in the store. The woman had stayed past the normal closing time of 6 p.m. to allow a male customer to pick up a cummerbund. Sometime after 6 p.m., the woman allowed the killer into the store, thinking that he was the customer that they were waiting for. After the women were murdered, the actual customer arrived to pick up his cummerbund and came face to face with the I-70 killer. The customer noticed that the killer had a gun, and the killer asked the customer to come with him to the back of the store. I think he demanded he come. Well, the customer refused, after which the killer told him to leave the scene.
Now,
which is pretty incredible.
Did he see the dead body?
No.
No?
No, the girls were in the back, and the killer said, come in the back with me.
Okay.
And the guy freaked out, and he left the scene. And I'm really surprised that this guy let him go, but he did.
Yeah.
So the customer refused, after which the killer told him to leave the scene. Had the customer cooperated with the killer, he almost certainly would have been murdered as well. The customer was so frightened that he did not report the incident until more than an hour had passed. He later provided details for a composite sketch of the killer, describing the killer as a slender white man with reddish hair, armed with an Uzi-style gun.
On April 27th, Michael McCowan, 40 years old, was killed around 4 p.m. in his mother's ceramics store, Sylvia's, located in Terre Haute, Indiana. McCowan's wallet and less than $50 were stolen from the store. No witnesses reported seeing the killer beforehand. McCowan was the only man killed during the spree, and it is believed by investigators that the I-70 killer chose the store because of the store's woman's name, Sylvia's Ceramics. Mike McCowan was reported to wear his hair in a ponytail and was shot from behind while he was kneeling to stock shelves. He may have been mistaken for a woman. See, Dad? That's why I never wear my hair in a fucking ponytail. With my luck, some fucking piece of shit, cocksucker, cockroach, rat bastard would mistake me as a woman. With this beautiful face, definitely. I would get mistaken as a woman.
You're probably right.
I think that all the time when I'm getting ready. This is why I'm not going to put my hair in a ponytail. Man.
So everybody take notice out there. Don't wear your hair in a ponytail if you're working alone in a store.
And this guy,
this asshole,
Michael McCowan. I mean, I've looked him up on the internet. He was an incredible musician.
Yeah. Yeah. And a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, they all were nice people.
And he was just helping out at his mom's ceramic store. And he got whacked by some coward, some fucking loser.
Yeah. Terrible.
Sorry,
That's okay.
You know, you rant sometimes.
Yeah.
I got to rant sometimes.
I think it makes you feel better.
It does. You got to get it out.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. On May 3rd, 24-year-old Nancy Kiltzmiller was killed while working alone at Boot Village, a footwear shop in St. Charles, Missouri. She opened up the shop at noon and was found dead by customers at 2:30 p.m. she had been shot in the back of the head. So he didn't even have the balls to look at these people. You know?
I know.
Kitzmiller was supposed to be off that day. However, she agreed to come in so that a coworker could have the day off. A small amount of money was taken from the cash register. Although no one heard the shot, a witness did see her with her final customer just minutes before her death. And this sighting helped police create a composite drawing. What'd they do? Draw like a little fucking worm? Was that the composite drawing?
The worm.
Uh-huh.
There was another worm, wasn't there?
Yeah, Hansen.
Yes.
Manford.
Yes. Yeah.
His cellmate, Robert Hansen.
Yeah.
He was known as the worm.
He was. That was good.
Uh-huh. The final confirmed murder occurred on May 7th in Raytown, Missouri. The victim was 37-year-old Sarah Blessing, who was working in her gift shop, Store of Many Colors. That was the name of the gift shop, Store of Many Colors. The murder occurred during the day, and the owner of the video store next to Blessing's shop saw the killer enter the shop, heard a pop, and then saw him leave. He discovered Blessing's body after checking to see what had occurred in the store. A clerk at a nearby grocery store also saw the suspect. He was climbing a hill towards I-70.
It's amazing that he got away with all this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it didn't help the law. I mean, he was bouncing around different states.
Yeah. And no motive.
No motive. Oh, yeah. Less than $100. That seemed to be his motive. You know, Dad, my throat's a little dry.
Yeah?
Yeah. Why don't you cover the suspected murders in the investigation?
I can do that.
I know you can.
This information also was taken from the internet. Had no choice. Okay. Investigators believe the I-70 killer may also be responsible for 2 murders in 1993 and attempted murder in 1994, all of which occurred in Texas. The 2 murder victims were 51-year-old Mary Ann Glasscock, who was killed on September 25th, 1993, in Fort Worth at the Emporium Antique Store, and 22-year-old Amy Vess, who was shot to death in a dance apparel store in Arlington, Texas, on November 1st, 1993. The surviving victim was Vicki Webb, 35, who was shot on January 15th, 1994, in Houston, Texas, at her Alternatives gift shop. She briefly talked to the shooter before he shot her in the back of the head. The bullet did not penetrate into Webb's head due to a large vertebrae being hit. The shooter attempted to shoot her again, but his gun misfired, and he left, presuming Webb to be dead.
No, he was probably scared that she was going to whip his ass.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you know this guy's a little puny fucking pussy.
Hopefully we'll find out, huh?
No, I think we will.
The MO of this Texas killer was very similar to the I-70 killer, and he used a .22 caliber firearm, the same caliber as the I-70 killer. However, a ballistics test determined that the gun used in the Texas murders was not the same as the one used in the I-70 killings. So investigators have not been able to confirm that the I-70 killer was responsible for the shootings in Texas.
Dad, wasn't David Berkowitz another fucking puddle of vomit, piece of shit? Wasn't he known as the 22 caliber killer?
Was he known as that? The son of Sam, I know that.
Yeah. No, see, son of Sam, the devil would have more of a manly man than that fucking little worm.
Yeah, well, there's a lot to that guy, right?
A lot. A lot.
In November 2021, in Terre Haute, Indiana again, police announced that the I-70 killer was a possible suspect in the 2001 murder of 31-year-old liquor store clerk Billy Brossman. On the evening of November 30th, 2001, Brossman was working alone at the 7th and 70 liquor store in Terre Haute. Security camera footage showed a white male suspect enter the store and pull a gun on Brossman and rob the cash register. The footage then showed the suspect lead Brossman to the back of the store and murder him with a single shot to the back of the head. The murder of Brossman occurred just 7 blocks from the murder of Michael McCowan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. 7 blocks away.
Yeah. You know, see, in a situation like that, say I'm working like in a gas station or whatever, and some little fucking twerp comes in with a gun and he's wanting to walk me to the back and tell me to get down on my knees and stuff. It's not going to get that far.
It's not happening.
No, it's not happening. He's going to have to fucking be a man and shoot me in the front.
No, I hear you.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't scripted anger. This is anger.
Yeah, that always gets you. And
it does.
I understand. I'm with you 100%.
Why people don't take
why they cooperate.
Yeah, why they don't make a run, you know?
Yeah. Or at least kick them in the face.
Yeah, or go for the gun.
Yeah. Something. I ain't kneeling, I'll tell you that much.
No.
Right?
Uh-huh. Hold on one second. John Getz, by the way, buddy, I'm wearing your boots right now. Believe it. It's the first time. You should see these, you guys. They're really awesome.
Okay, back to this. The footage then showed the suspect lead Brossman to the back of the store and murder him with a single shot to the back of the head. The murder of Brossman occurred just 7 blocks from the murder of Michael McCowan and was similar in modus operandi to the I-70 murders. Unlike in the I-70 murders, security footage of Brossman's killer exists, and the police have stated that they have a person of interest in the case.
Is this the video they got of him?
Yeah.
By the freezers?
Yeah. I mean, it was a video.
Didn't he do like a little dance? Or
I believe he did.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, he's weird.
He's weird.
Okay, Tom, let's get into the investigation. It's gone on for a long, long time.
Too long.
But the detectives, they never gave up on this case.
Highly skilled and trained detectives spent years on this case trying to solve it. Little did they know. In the year 2024, Detective Coxman and his sidekick would take up the case. It's going to be great. We're going to fucking solve this. We are.
I hope so.
Thanks to the detectives. And you just said they do never give up.
Never.
And that is true.
Never.
Like you'll be watching the ID station and a crime will happen and they'll solve it 30 years later.
Yeah. I love them. I'm not the Coxman is not a detective. Stop it.
No.
These guys are
You're
amazing.
beautiful, though.
They are amazing.
Yeah, they
and
are.
they never give up. And they come with later on with fresh eyes, later on down the road with more fresh eyes. And they just keep going. And I love them.
I do too.
I do. Good people.
Criminals don't like them.
Oh, no.
You imagine 30 years later, like you murdered somebody.
And you get...
Yeah, some asshole. Or no, not an asshole. You're the asshole. And you hear, oh, honey, I'll get the door. And you got like a SWAT team out in front of your house.
I love that.
Isn't that great?
Yes. And they love it after all those years.
We're taking you in.
It. Yeah.
All right, guys. The murders were conclusively linked after a St. Charles detective suspected a connection. All of the murders were committed with a .22 caliber firearm, and the victims were usually petite young women with long dark hair. What a cunt. Little pussy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Going after.
I don't think you
petite.
like this guy too much.
I don't. I just don't. I don't like guys that feed off of women. You know, they kill women.
I know it.
Because I like women.
We know you do.
I do.
Come on.
All right.
You know it.
Aside from the Wichita murders, all the victims were alone. All were shot in the back of the head. None of the scenes had any signs of sexual assault. Yeah, right? Because he was probably a non-secretor, like fucking Bianchi.
He had to make it. Huh? He had to make it into the show.
Bianchi?
Yeah.
Of course he did.
Yeah, he'll be back.
And while all stores were robbed, robbery appeared to be a secondary motive. All of the stores were small, specialty businesses, which did not have much money. Based on witness testimonies, police strongly believe the murder weapon may have been a Scorpion pistol or an Irma Worky ET-22 pistol. They have not, however, been able to rule out any other .22 caliber firearm models. The ammunition used in the killings was .22 caliber CCI copper-clad lead bullets. Based on witness descriptions, investigators were able to produce 2 composite sketches of the killer and a physical description of the suspect. The I-70 killer was described as being a white man in his 20s or 30s, 5'7" to 5'9" tall, thin and having lazy eyelids. What the fuck is that?
Just kind of hooded. You ever seen like hooded eyelids? I think.
Yeah.
I think that's what that means.
Okay.
Guessing.
Okay. Is it sexy?
No.
No.
No, especially when the guy's holding a gun.
So he had these lazy eyelids, right? Right. And sandy blonde or reddish hair. This was all in 1992. In 2021, the St. Charles Police Department published age-progressed versions of the original composite sketch to show what the killer may look like today. I love it when they do that. They do that with Elvis, like on his birthdays.
Oh yeah, when they change. Yeah,
what he would. No, man, Elvis was never supposed to get old.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He was gorgeous forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Too bad he killed himself before I got to see him.
I saw him.
Shh. Stop it. You saw him a few times.
Yes, I did. Great. Maybe someday I'll tell you about it. Let's see, you're 47. Yeah, a few more years.
Huh?
Eh?
Investigators believe the killer. Why are you laughing?
I'm just laughing about it.
Dad?
Yes, Scott said the other day, or like last week, we need a name for that.
I've been thinking about that.
I don't know what to call it.
I know.
Craziness,
Gosh.
right? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Hey, the crazy.
The crazy.
Mhm.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guys, investigators believe the killer is between 52 and 70 years old if he is still alive. Police have not publicly identified any suspects, and the case has been classified as a cold case.
And so this was in 2021 because we were screwing around. I just want to make sure they understand that. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. 52 to 70 in 2021.
Yes.
Okay.
Here is part of a news article that posted in Indianapolis, October 21st, 2021. New, potentially more accurate sketches released of the I-70 killer. Authorities released a new sketch of the man who went on a killing spree across the Midwest almost 3 decades ago, as detectives remain hopeful for tips that could help piece together the so-called I-70 killings. The sketches hope to capture what the suspect would look like 30 years after the crime. Investigators developed a sketch of the suspect. He is described as a white male who is 22 to 40 years old at the time of the crimes. 5'7" tall to 5'9" tall, weighed 140 to 160 pounds. So he is a little weasel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has sandy blonde hair with a red tint. Authorities said, based on ballistics and witness accounts, an Irma Workey ET-22 phone home ET was the most probable weapon used. But the Scorpion, I like the name of that gun.
Yes.
The Scorpion could not be eliminated as a potential murder weapon. In most of the cases, the suspect targeted women working by themselves at businesses without much money on hand because he was a real fucking pussy. To this day, investigators haven't been able to pinpoint who is responsible.
That was 2021.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that shows you, they don't give up.
Yeah.
So we keep going along. We've got these different articles that we researched and found. Here's a small part of an article that People published on April 8th, 2022, and it's by Tristan Balagatis. And the title of it is 30 Years After the I-70 Killer Began His Murder Spree, Detectives Still Don't Know His Name. And they got to be frustrated as hell, I got to tell you. So here's a small part of this article. 30 years after 6 people were fatally shot in a string of killings along the I-70 corridor, the person responsible for the murders remains a mystery. To this day, we can't figure out why someone would go on this shooting rampage and just kill people for no apparent reason. Detective Kelly Rhodes with the St. Charles Police Department in Missouri tells people, I can only describe it as evil. Rhodes revealed that in November 2021, efforts were increased across all agencies involved. A uniformed task force was launched, and investigators from Kansas, Indiana, and Missouri came together to discuss each case, review the evidence, and develop a plan to move forward. It's amazing.
It is. Who wrote this article?
People magazine.
No.
Oh, the girl's name?
Yeah.
Tristan Balagagas? Something like that.
You, though.
Tristan, what?
I'd like your name to be Tristan.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, Tristan Ciaglia. I like it. I do.
Should I change it?
To Tristan?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
go to the DMV.
I like the Coxman better.
Oh, my gosh. And that fits you like to the T.
It does, huh?
To the T.
Okay. Detective Rhodes went on to say, this is the future. So we're really hoping we can get some good DNA from the evidence. It's not like we're sending off one piece and hoping on that one piece. We have quite a bit that we've sent off, she says. Although she would not disclose, or she could not disclose, the specific types of evidence being tested. She goes on to say, I've been asked by a lot of people, why now? This case is 30 years old. Why focus on this case when there's murders happening right now? And I always tell them, whether someone was killed 3 minutes ago or 3 decades ago, it doesn't matter. Every single one of these people, their lives mattered. I love it.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick it to them.
She said it like it is, and it's
Stick
true.
it to the man. Yeah.
And that's their attitude.
Mm-hmm.
She goes on to say, we're not going to stop until we feel every stone has been turned, she adds. We've already been fighting for this, and the families have been fighting for 30 years. So we're definitely not about to give up now.
Mm.
So while investigating...
Good article.
Yeah. And that was just part of it.
Uh-huh.
And there was several articles, okay? And this is 30 years after. So while investigating this case, Tony and I kept coming across a name of a reporter. His name is Bob Cyphers.
What's up, Bob?
We saw an article by Lauren Warnicki, a reporter at WGLT, that was published March of 2024. It seems Bob had spent his career as a news reporter and producer for CBS affiliate KMOV in St. Louis, and he had covered the I-70 killings. Are you ready for this, guys? Since 1992.
No joke.
Amazing. Yeah, for sure.
So this was like a huge part of his career.
Yes. Yeah. He was into it.
Bob knew the case so well, he was actually invited to join the fucking task force. That's impressive.
Yeah.
That was formed in 2021, that task force, to take another shot at finding this monster of a killer. As the task force came to an end, Bob retired. But he continued his quest. Right, Dad?
Oh, yeah.
He continued his quest to solve this case by writing the book Dead End, Inside the Hunt for the I-70 Killer. You know
and
what?
we have the book. It's good. It's a good book. It's a great book. I mean, can I just stress? This guy was invited to be on the task force. Doesn't happen normally. He's a reporter, but he knew things. He had contacts, and he knew things so well that he spent time, I think, with all the police and they trusted him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was involved. And when they stopped the task force, he thought, I think it was suggested, write the book. Let's keep this thing going.
Just like me, I know fucking people. I got connections, right?
We're not talking about those kind of people. I got you.
You did.
Yes, sir.
That was good.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I said to my dad, wouldn't it be great if Bob would come on Murder Phone? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it. Murder Phone.
Murder Phone.
Uh-huh. And guess what? We reached out to this guy. That's right. We did. Uh-huh. Me and my connections, him and his connections. We reached out to this guy. And guess what? Oh, yes. He will be on fucking Murder Phone next week.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank Lauren Warnecki. Is that how you pronounce it?
I believe it is.
Okay. Lauren Warnecki for putting us in touch with Bob. It's really awesome. Especially how fast it all,
It happened.
Yeah. You reached out to Lauren and then boom, she got us in touch with Bob like that.
Yeah. And that just goes to show you his desire to keep this case alive in hopes that it can get solved.
I love it.
Right?
I love you.
I love you too. And that was a hell of an interview. I didn't, we'll talk with Bob next week, and cover a lot of the points, but Lauren did a great job interviewing him. And then there was a blog on A&E and Bob was interviewed. Just really good stuff. And we're hoping to move forward with this.
For sure. During the interview with Lauren, Bob said to be able to end my career by possibly helping the police departments, that would be a thrill for me to know that I had helped these people who had given their lives to solve this case. My dad and I are on the same page. So join us next week for our in-depth discussion with Bob Cyphers.
Yes, sir.
About the I-70 killings. All right, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the introduction into the I-70 killings. And we let you know what we have coming up the next couple of weeks. And hopefully, we're going to fucking solve this. And you guys, murderphoniacs, are going to be sitting here with us. So, Dad?
And Bob will be on the screen. We will do a live interview with him right here on the show. So you've got to go to YouTube.
Yeah.
We'll have a podcast. You'll hear Bob. But trust me, you're going to want to see this one. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Can't wait. And we got some exciting stuff in store for you.
Well, guys, we're going to call it a wrap. It's been great chatting with you. So take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay cool. And remember, always walk in the calm after the storm.